letting me know.
I
All right.
think I think that festival is Mid Autumn, not Children's Day.
Oh,
Can
sorry.
you? Oh, that's okay.
It's called Mid Autumn Festival.
Oh, Mid-Autumn Festival. Okay. Okay. Is that you, Sarah?
Mr. Bean.
Sarah, is that you?
Hello, Bishop.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine with you. How about you?
I am good. Thank you. All right, so we were just getting started. We're going to go over today's lesson is all about homes, like what types of homes there are, where homes can be, and like the rooms in the homes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So these are the types. There's a house. There's an apartment or a flat. In the US, we say apartment, and usually in England and Australia, they call it a flat. And it's just small where there are multiple places.
It's like a mini house.
Yeah, it's like a mini house. So like this is like one family lives in this house, and here there are a bunch of different rooms where there are bedrooms, living rooms, and kitchens. It's not a full house, but it's a different place you can live. And then there's a townhouse. These are kind of like half houses, so they're bigger than apartments, and they look like a house, but usually they're kind of split in half, so they're all connected. Like you're sharing walls with neighbors. It's not on its own like a house. You have mansions. That's just a word for a really large house, like much larger than normal. So that house is a mansion. And then there are two different ways that you can live in a house. There's renting and there's buying. So when you rent a home or apartment, someone else owns it. That owner is called a landlord, and you pay them each month to live there. Or you can buy a home, and when you buy a home or apartment, you own it, and the home is your full responsibility. Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about renting and buying? Harry says that's good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so these are the different parts of a home. So it is labeled, each of these is labeled over here. So an attic is like usually on the very top of a house. Sometimes it's easily accessible, sometimes it isn't. Like for mine, we just have a little hole in the ceiling, and you kind of climb like above our ceiling on the top floor to get to the attic. And people usually just use the attic for storage. And you have a bedroom. Where's the bedroom? Right here. That's like where your bed is, where you sleep at night, where all your things are. You have a bathroom. It's where you shower, brush your teeth in the morning, use the bathroom, all those kinds of things. A nursery is what we call like a baby's room. So before you have a bed, you have a crib, things like that. So a baby's room is called a nursery, which is different than a bedroom. Some people have home offices, so that's what I'm in right now. There's just like a desk in here, a computer, printer, books. That's usually what's in a home office, and it's a place where people can work. The living room is where people hang out. That's like where a couch and chairs are. You can watch TV. That's just like a recreational area. And then there are dining rooms. That's right here. Dining rooms are where your table and chairs are, and where you sit down to eat meals with your family. The kitchen is where you cook the food. And then there's laundry room, and that's where you wash laundry. Yeah, pretty much where you wash laundry. And then some people have basements, and basements are usually they're the bottom floor of a house, and sometimes they're underground. People use them for different things. Sometimes people use them just for storage. Some people use them as like game rooms. So you can have like ping pong tables, foosball, air hockey, things like that. Usually that's in a basement. And then there's a garage. And a garage is where you keep your car. Are there any questions about any of the rooms? Are you good? Okay. Sounds like we're good. Um, so these are pictures of the rooms inside the home. So there's a kitchen, you have a stove, a sink, a fridge. This is where you do all the cooking. Bathrooms, there's a bathtub, shower, toilet, sink, and mirror. Bedroom, there's usually a bed, a dresser, and a light. Living rooms usually have TVs, and they usually have couches, chairs, and a small table like this is called a coffee table. Dining rooms, pretty much all you need in a dining room is a table and chairs for people to eat at. Office, like I said, there's a desk, there's a chair, and usually a computer, and people just go and work in there. And then on the outside, there's a patio. So patios are when the part that you stand on is level with the grass. So there's like tile right here that's level with the grass. A deck is when you have wood or something that looks like wood and it's above the grass. So patio is when it's down flat, there are no stairs or anything. And a deck is like this, and you can put chairs up here and hang out on the deck. Then there's balconies. Usually these are in apartments or large homes, and you can step outside and just have a view, usually of the city where a balcony is. And then the yard is just the grass or the area surrounding the house. So usually people have a front yard and a backyard. And then some people have gardens, so you can grow like vegetables and fruits and herbs in your garden, or it can just be a flower garden. And the garage, yep, where you keep your car, if you have a car. The driveway, it's called that because it's the way that you drive up to the house. So the driveway usually leads right to the garage. And garages and driveways are usually only with houses and some townhouses. Apartments don't really have that. Okay. And then there are 3 different areas that you can live in based on like population size. So urban is how you say this. An urban area is like a city. So like London or Ho Chi Minh City, things like that. Those are urban areas. So as a large population, it's in a big city. The buildings are tall, like they're skyscrapers, and there's usually lots of transportation. Like if you think of New York City, there's tons of taxis, buses, and subways, things like that. And most people in urban areas live in apartments because there isn't room for houses. And there are suburban areas, and this is like a medium-sized population. I live in a suburban area, and the majority of people, I would say, do live in suburban areas in America. So it's located near a city, but it's not inside the city. It's like outside, so there's enough room for people to have houses like this. So it's not as crowded. Most people live in houses or townhomes, and most people drive cars. It doesn't have transportation like taxis, buses, and trains in urban areas. And then there are rural areas. And rural areas have really small populations. Oftentimes there's a lot of farmland. Like you can see, this is rural because these are the only people that live um, within a couple miles, within like this space. Usually there's a couple miles between houses. So you know this is rural because there's farmland and they're not close to anybody else. Here, the houses are close to one another and you have neighbors. So rural areas have animals and grassy scenery. There's a ton of outdoor open space, and most of the time in rural areas, people live on farms or houses that are spaced far apart. Just kind of mentioned this, is groups of houses or apartment buildings. So neighborhoods are usually in suburban areas because, as you can see, these houses are all close together and they are houses, not apartments. So it's a section of a city or suburb where people live, and it's the area near your home. So everybody has their own neighborhood with their neighbors. People who live near you are called your neighbors. Okay. Did that make sense? Was that good? Are there any questions? You look okay. John says good. Okay, we'll move on. Thank you, Jisoo. Okay, so here are some sentences to complete with the vocabulary we just went over. So this is, I live in a big blank. There are lots of people in tall buildings. Does anybody have a guess about the word?
Apartment.
City.
Yeah,
City.
perfect. Yeah, city. Perfect. Good guess. We'll do it this way. How about that? Okay, every night I make dinner in the
Kitchen.
kitchen. Yeah. Yep. Perfect. My apartment has one blank, so there's only one toilet and shower. What room is that?
Bathroom.
Bathroom. Perfect. Yeah. The bed is in the corner of my
Bedroom.
bedroom. Perfect. Okay, she lives in a blank. Her house is huge. Does anyone remember what word this would be?
Villa.
A villa. That's a good guess. This is not quite right. Villas aren't usually as big as what this word is. Does anybody remember what a really big house is called? It had like a pool and it was super like a long house. Does anyone remember? We call really big houses mansions. A mansion. So this would be, she lives in a mansion. Her house is huge. Yeah. Okay. His blank is on the 30th floor. What a tall building.
Room. Apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, let me check. It's apartment. Yeah, it's apartment, but room could work because an apartment is really kind of like a room. But yeah, perfect. You guys did really well. Thank you. That was really good. Oh, okay. We will move on to the next thing. Okay. So I'm going to read a couple passages and then we're going to answer some questions. Sorry, give me a second. It's very early here. Okay. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. The bedrooms are quite small, but there's a big living room with a dining area, a modern kitchen, and also a small balcony where we can sit outside in the summer. So, where do you think they live in an apartment, but is it in a rural, urban, or suburban area?
I think it's a black.
You got a bunch of background noise for a second, so I couldn't hear where you thought it was. Can you say that one more time?
He say it's black.
Black.
Oh, in a flat?
Yes.
Yeah. So he is in a flat. It says I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. Apartment and flat mean the same thing. So perfect. Yes. I Let me stop presenting for 1 second. I think it's asking about the area that this person. Yeah. Well, you know what? Sorry, I'm debating with myself. No. Apartment is a good answer, and that's correct. He does live in an apartment. But what about the area that the apartment is in? Where do most people live in apartments? In urban, suburban, or rural areas? Does anyone remember?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
Urban.
Do you have what was that, Bean?
I think it's suburban. Suburban.
Suburban?
Urban. Yes.
Sorry, suburban or urban?
Suburban.
Yeah, that's a good guess. It's actually urban. So I have a way for us to think about this. Urban is like a city, big city. And in English, this is called a prefix. Sub means like it's related to something, but it's a little different. So suburban is the right in the middle between rural and urban. And they could live in a suburban area, but usually apartments are in an urban area, like a big city. Like when you think of at least when I think of Paris or New York City, I think of a lot of apartment buildings. So usually when somebody says they live in an apartment, they're usually in an urban area. But suburban was a good guess. Thank you, Bean. Okay, how many bedrooms are there?
2.
Yep, 2. Perfect. What types of rooms are in the apartment?
Bathroom,
Mhm.
living room, dining room, kitchen,
Yeah.
balcony,
What was the last one?
balcony,
Oh, and a balcony. Yep. Yeah. I think I'm sorry if you said this, Bean, but I think we forgot one room. Did anybody notice that one? Oh, sorry, I can't talk. Did anyone notice if Bean forgot one?
bedroom,
He said bathroom, but that's perfect. Maybe you said this, Bean. I didn't hear you say bedrooms. Did you say bedroom?
yes, I say
Okay, sorry, that was totally on me then. You got them all. Perfect. Thank you. Where can this person sit outside during the summer?
balcony,
On the balcony. Yeah, perfect. All right, great. Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, so for this one, it says, I live in a 2-story terraced house. It has 2 bedrooms, a living room, a small kitchen, and a garden. It's cozy and convenient for getting to work, but it's a little cramped, especially when we have guests. I live with my wife and daughter. Our house is near the city center in a quiet neighborhood. There isn't much to do, but there are some nice small shops and a park where we go if the weather is nice. So where does this person live? You can say what kind of place they live in or what the area is, whether it's rural, urban, or suburban. Does anyone have a guess?
I think it is a flat.
It's a flat. I
Yes.
think the last one was a flat. So flat and apartment mean the same thing. This one is not a flat. It's something different. No, it says at the beginning.
mansion,
Oh, what was that, Bean? Sorry, it's very quiet for me.
mansion,
Mansion. Okay, that's a good guess. It's actually just a house. Mansions are usually like they're just absolutely massive. They'll probably have over like 10 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms. They'll have multiple kitchens, multiple living rooms. Mansions are very big. This is just a house. It's a 2-story house. So that probably means they have a living room, a kitchen, and a dining room. And then upstairs they have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So it's not very big, and you know that it's not a mansion because it says it's cozy, but sometimes it's cramped. So they're saying when they have guests, they don't really have room for them. And if you lived in a mansion, you'd have room for like a ton of people. You could have over 20 people stay with you. Easy. Yeah. So they're in a house. Do you think this is but that was a good guess. Thank you. Um Are they in a urban, suburban, or rural area?
urban,
Urban? Yeah, they could be in an urban area. I would say they're in a suburban area. So, the reason I think, well, They are in a suburban area. It says our house is near the city center in a quiet neighborhood. There isn't much to do, but there are some small shops and a park where we can go to. So they're not like in the city. If they were in the city, they wouldn't drive to work, and there wouldn't, it's unlikely that there would be a house in a neighborhood. And since it says it's near the city, that means it's just outside of the city. So that's a suburban area. Usually when people are in apartments, they're in an urban area. Usually when they're in houses, like the one this describes, it specifies that it's close to the city center. So that's how we know it's suburban. And then if somebody is far away from neighbors in a house or on a farm, that's rural. Yeah, I know. Urban, suburban, and rural are very weird words. I'm sure they're hard to remember, but you guys are doing really good. Okay, so they live in a house in the suburbs. How many bedrooms are there?
2.
Yeah, 2. Perfect. What other types of rooms are in the house?
Bedroom, living room, kitchen, garden.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And who do they live with?
Wife,
And
daughter.
perfect. Yep. So this person lives in a house in the suburbs, with bedrooms, living room, kitchen, and a garden, and they live with their wife and daughter. Perfect. Oh, there's one more. Sorry. Can you describe their neighborhood to me? Anybody?
Me.
Me.
Yeah. You can both do it. I'll have Harry go first and then Bean.
The neighborhood is quiet, and there are some small shop and a park.
Yeah. Perfect. What were you gonna say, Bean? It's okay if it's similar to what Harry said.
I think my idea is the same, Harry.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys. All right, there's another short passage. So it says, I live by myself in a studio apartment. It has one main room, a tiny kitchen. It's very warm in the winter, but can
It
get a
is
bit.
an apartment.
Yeah, there you go. It is an apartment. Perfect. That's probably the first question, so you nailed it. It can get a bit stuffy in the summer. I live in the city center, very close to everything. It's very lively with lots of bars and restaurants. It's a good place for young people to live, but not many families choose to live here. So where does this person live? In an apartment? Perfect. Thank you, Harry. Is it in a urban, suburban, or rural area?
War area.
Rural?
No, I don't know.
No. Yeah, not rural. The opposite of rural. So rural is where everything's spread out. There's lots of farms. No neighbors are close by. This is the opposite of that. They live in an apartment in the city center. There's tons of things around them. Is that urban, suburban, or rural? Anybody?
Urban.
Yeah, it's urban. Yeah, thank you guys. I heard you too, Bean. Yeah, urban is like when you're inside the city. So, I'm trying to think. Okay, I don't know if you guys know these towns, but if you live in London, right, that's urban because you're living in the city of London and there's all kinds of pubs and museums and it's very crowded. There's skyscrapers. If you live in London, that is urban. If you live in Cambridge or Oxford, I don't know if you know. Does anybody know Cambridge and Oxford? Those are pretty. Yeah. Okay. So if you live in Cambridge or Oxford, those would be like suburbs because it's not inside London and you can buy a house or a townhouse and live comfortably, but you do need to drive a car, unlike London where you can take taxis or buses. And then a rural area, people don't really usually know the names of rural areas because so few people live there. So if you like live out in the countryside outside of Cambridge and Oxford and your neighbors are far away from you, You're not in London. You're not, which is urban. You're not in Cambridge or Oxford, which are suburbs. You're in a rural area with farmland. That's how it's described generally. Okay, perfect. I know that's kind of tricky, but we'll keep going. So they live in an apartment in an urban area. Perfect. How many rooms are there?
2.
Yeah. It has one main room with a tiny kitchen, and then we would assume that they have a bedroom. Perfect. Who do they live with?
I think alone.
Yep, they're alone. Perfect. And where is the apartment located?
It is in the city center.
Perfect. It's in the city center. What types of places are near the apartment?
Bar, restaurants. Yeah.
Yeah. Bars and restaurants. Perfect. Thank you. Very nice, you guys. Okay. So I have a couple conversation questions. We'll look at them all now. I'll try to ask everybody. We'll go through this a couple times so that people are asking different questions. I'm going to start with
It is so much.
so many questions.
Yes.
Yeah. That's okay. We have plenty of time. All right, Bean, I'm going to start with you, and I'm just going to go on order of my screen. Okay. Actually, hang on. I'm thinking about the best way to do this. Okay, I'm going to ask everybody the same question to begin with, and then I'll ask people some different questions so we can keep moving and we don't hear somebody talk for too long. Like me, I've been talking for a long time. Okay, Bean, where do you live?
I live in a neighborhood.
Perfect. In an apartment, house, or townhome?
I think it's a house.
A house? Okay, perfect. Great, thank you. John, how about you? Where do you live?
I live in a small town.
Okay. In a apartment, house, or townhome?
I live in a house.
Okay, great, awesome. Jisoo, where do you live?
I live in a village.
Okay, in a village, perfect. In an apartment, house, or townhome?
I think it's house.
House, yeah, perfect. So, yeah, houses, it's like if you're the only family that lives there and your walls aren't touching anybody else, that's a house. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, Sarah, where do you live?
I live in neighborhood.
Perfect. In an apartment, house, or townhome?
It's a house.
Perfect. Thank you. Harry, where do you live? Harry.
Harry teacher call you.
I live the same as Bean.
Yeah. Okay, so you live in a house. Okay, perfect. And Lisa, where do you live?
I live in a small house.
Okay, in a small town? In an apartment, house, or townhome?
In a townhome.
In a townhome. Okay, cool. Great. Thank you guys. Okay, Bean, can you describe your house and tell me what it looks like on the inside and the outside?
My house is big and inside has is very beautiful and it have uh, a living room, a kitchen, three, uh, four bath, 4 bathroom and 4 bedroom. Outside is garage, and and um, yacht, a yacht,
Do you have a yard?
yacht.
Yard. Do you have a garage and a yard? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Anything else? Okay.
And my house is surrounded by many trees and beautiful flowers.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool, great. Thank you so much. Very nice. Okay, John, how many people live in your house?
There are 4 people. My father, my mother, me, and my younger brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's perfect. All right, Jisoo. I'm just gonna ask you the same question. How many people are in your house and who lives with you?
My family has my home has 4 people. Is my grandparents, my mom, and me.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. All right. Sarah, what do you like about your home and why?
Um, mm, I don't know.
Here, I'll give an example. So, what I really like, my kitchen and dining room are one area, so it's really big. And it's nice because we have a lot of room to cook. So I like it because I have lots of room to cook, lots of room to bake, and we have these big glass doors and they slide open onto the patio. And that's my favorite part of the house. And what's something you like about your house?
Mm, I like my bedroom best because it's very beautiful and warm.
Perfect. Great answer. Thank you. Harry, what's something you dislike about your house?
I don't like it color
Oh,
because
you
it
don't
is
like
pink. My room is pink.
your room is pink?
I stay with my parents.
Yeah. My room is pink too, and I wish that it wasn't. So I understand that one. I painted my room pink when I was 5, and we just haven't painted it since. So I still have a pink room. Yeah, thanks. That was a good answer, Harry. Okay. And Lisa, what is your favorite room in your house?
My favorite room in the house is living room
The living room. Why is that?
because I like watch TV.
You like watching TV? Perfect. That was great. Thank you. Okay. Bean, which would you rather live in? An urban area, a suburb, or a rural area? Why?
Teacher, can I answer the last question?
Um, would you rather live in a house, townhouse, apartment, or mansion?
Yes,
Yeah.
because I don't know the questions. Urban and suburban.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go over that one more time. But yes, please answer the last one. That's perfect.
The mention uh for the rich people, and an apartment is for many family live there, and townhouse is many family live next to, and a house um is a family live in alone in a area.
Yeah, perfect. But which one of those would you rather live in? So like if you were an adult, like imagine being an adult. Do you want to live in a house, apartment, townhouse, or mansion?
I think mansion
Yeah, why is that?
because it is very big and beautiful.
Yeah, perfect. That's a great answer. Thank you. Okay. So is urban, suburban, and rural still, is that confusing? I don't like a nod or a no. Is that hard to understand? Urban, suburban, rural? Okay, I think it's a little tricky. Um, I'm gonna go back really far. Um, okay, this is a picture of an urban area. So if you have a large population in a big city, buildings like skyscrapers and a bunch of apartments, that's urban. So if this is an apartment building and you live there, that's an urban area. If you're inside any city, that's urban. So like the city in my state is Denver, Colorado. If I lived in Denver, I would live in an urban area, but I live in a suburban area. My town is called Loveland, and it has a bunch of houses with space between them like this, and everybody drives a car to get around, and it's not big. Um, Denver's population is over 600,000 people, and my town's population is like 70,000 people. And a rural area is basically just farmland. So there's nothing around. In a big city, you have tons of restaurants, bars, museums, all kinds of things, theaters, like a bunch of things. In a suburban area, there are some things. There are usually some shops, but there's not as much as a city. And in rural areas, since there's no neighborhood and you're not in a town, there's not much there. So that's the difference between urban, suburban, and rural. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. So, like, urban populations can have millions of people, suburban usually between like 50,000 to 150,000 people. And rural areas can have like 300 people. They can have 23 people. Rural areas are really, really sparsely populated. There's small populations of people. I know that's kind of complicated, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Okay. Um nope, not Bean, sorry. John, can you describe your house to me and tell me what it looks like on the inside and outside?
My house is very big. Inside there are total 14 rooms
Wow.
and have two balcony. There are have many tree and beautiful flower. Outside we have a big yard and a small garden after my house.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, Jisoo, what do you like about your home and why?
I like my bedroom because it's very beautiful.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Sarah, what's something you dislike about your house and why?
No, nothing.
There's nothing you dislike about your house?
Yes.
I'll give an example. So, like, Harry doesn't like the color of his room, and for me, my bathroom is really small. Like, it's just kind of cramped, and so I wish my bathroom was bigger. Is there anything you wish was different about your house? Could be like the color of your room, the size of one of the rooms. I wish I had a bigger TV, like anything like that. Is there anything you could dislike? Like, it could be anything. Be like, I don't like the window in the living room, or I don't really like the floor in the kitchen. It could be anything.
I think I don't like color paint on the wall.
Okay, perfect. There you go. Great answer. Thank you. Okay, Harry, what is your favorite room in the house?
It's in my parent room because I study there.
Oh, okay, interesting. Very cool. Thank you. Lisa, would you rather live in an urban, suburban, or rural area? Like, imagine you're an adult. Do you want to live outside of the city, inside the city, or on like a farm?
I think suburb.
In a suburb?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people want to live there. That was perfect. Great, thank you. All right, we're gonna go over this one more time with different questions. Bean, you already answered the last question. You messed me up. Okay. We'll start here with Bean. Bean, what do you like about your home and why?
I like my home because it makes me feel reduce stress and comfortable.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. That was a really good answer. Okay, John, what's something you dislike about your house?
It's it's a kitchen
Yeah, you don't like the kitchen?
because
Why?
it have many mosquitoes.
Mini what?
Ta này nói từ con muỗi Phan.
Because he said because the kitchen have many mosquito.
Oh, mosquito. Yeah, you said it right, John. I just didn't I wasn't expecting you to say mosquitoes. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I hate it when bugs get inside the house. That happens to me too. So, I am with you on that one. That was a good answer. Thank you. All right. Jisoo, what's your favorite room in your house? I'll wait for a second for Jisoo. What's your favorite room in your house?
Is living room
Perfect. Why is that?
because it's beautiful and uh and I like this color in the living room.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Okay, Sarah, which would you rather live in? An urban, suburban, or rural area? Like, do you want to live in the city, just outside the city, or out in like farmland?
I think this in urban.
Can you say it one more time?
Urban.
Urban?
Yes.
Yeah, in the city. Perfect. Great answer. Thank you. All right, Harry, would you rather live in a house, townhouse, apartment, or mansion?
I rather live in the mansion
Yeah, why is that?
because it is beautiful and big, and
Yeah.
I feel like I am rich.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in a mansion, you are rich. So there you go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And Lisa, can you describe your house to me? Tell me what it looks like on the inside and outside.
The thing is inside.
What does it look like on the inside, and what does it look like on the outside?
Inside is very lovely, and outside is very
Do you have a yard or a garden outside?
I think it's hair garden.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
It is
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Cool. All right, well, we can keep going, but Harry said he wanted to talk at the end. So how about we take the last 10 minutes to just talk? Does that sound good? Okay, cool. Very nice. Well, that was really good, you guys. Just quick feedback. I know urban, suburban, and rural. It's kind of confusing. Hopefully that makes more sense with the review and conversation sessions. But I think you guys ended up doing really well today. You guys know the vocabulary really well. So that's good. Yeah. All right. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Harry?
Cô đăng không cả cho cô nữa ở đây.
Also, no. I'm sorry, no.
What did John say?
He said, "Do I want to talk with you anymore?"
Oh, you don't want to talk with me anymore?
Like about Mid Autumn Festival.
I want to talk about the Mid-Autumn Festival. Why do you celebrate it? Like, what is the occasion for the festival?
You can ask him.
I'm asking anybody.
I think he's like to ask.
Can anybody tell me what the Mid-Autumn Festival is? Like, why do you celebrate it? Maybe this question is kind of confusing, but like for Christmas, like we celebrate it because of religion. Same with Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Those are like religious celebrations. But with Halloween, we kind of just like celebrate that for fun. So why do you celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival? Okay, well, can you guys tell me about it? Because I'm curious about it.
For legend.
For legend? Oh, there's like a story with it. Oh, okay. What's the story?
I cannot show it to you. It's very hard to this.
Okay, that's okay. No worries. How much time? So you guys celebrated it at school today, right?
It's today.
It's today. Yeah. Did you do anything outside of school for it? Like, did you do anything with your families to celebrate, or did you just celebrate in school?
We celebrate with on all of my country.
Okay, cool. So what did you guys do with your families today? Did you celebrate with your families at all after school?
Hải, nhưng mà này có sư tử chưa? Sư tử bắt đầu.
ngoài kia vẫn đang hát kìa. Biến tí ra.
Sư tử bắt đầu rồi, bên đó bắt đầu rồi.
It will happening. The Mid-Autumn Festival is happening. Now near my house, they are singing.
Oh, okay. Are you guys gonna go to the festival after this?
Yes.
You are?
Me too.
Yes.
Do you want me to let you go so you can go to the festival?
All a person here will celebrate.
You guys are all going. Yeah, no, you guys should go. I'll let you go now. You should go to the festival.
Yes.